Hello everyone, and welcome to our final video on items for beginners. In this video, I'll be going over how the type of champion you're playing affects your item build, where you can go to learn more about builds, and how you can learn to adjust them and when you would actually need to. First up, let's talk about the type of champion you're playing. Each champion for the most part can fall into some of the categories that we went over in the roles video, so we'll be using auto attack AD carries and caster AD carries for this example. While both types of ADs use auto attacks and love AD items, the champion styles will want different items in the AD category. The auto attack based AD carries value critical strikes and attack speed more. That's because they scale super well together and amplify the auto attacks. Meanwhile, caster based AD carries would want raw AD damage to amplify their abilities and really make the few auto attacks they weave in between abilities pack one hell of a punch. There are examples of this happening in every single role, but it would take far too long for us to go over all of them. That being said, how can you learn what to build on your own? Well, there's a few great websites that you can use to learn how to build things on your own. To start getting an idea of the most common builds, you can use a website called op.gg. This will help with both items and runes. When you get comfortable with certain builds, I would switch to probuilds.net. With this website, you can see adjustments that are made by high-level players based on matchups. Something I like to do is look at the build, guess what the comps are of each team, and then expand the match history to see how close I was to understanding the decisions that they made. I also like to guess what order they built the items in to understand the flow of the game and what they think building was important and when. Alright guys, here's a quick example about when you get comfortable with understanding builds and going to probuilds.net. So I'm taking a look at Ezreal, and I see one build that kind of stands out to me, and that is Cody-san playing against Jhin, and he went 14, 5, and 12. What stands out to me about his build is that he has both a Mercurial Scimitar and a Ghostblade. Now Ghostblade is a little less common, and by less common I mean like you don't ever see that on Ezreal, and Mercurial Scimitar is pretty common depending on the team comp. So I'm going to guess that the enemy team comp had maybe 2 or 3 lockdowns that are targeted, or at least a lot of long range damage to where Jhin always threatened Ezreal with the W. Potentially there's a Rengar in this game, and what Cody-san wanted to do was QSS the snare and then run away with the Ghostblade. I think it probably is someone who is an assassin that's AD more than AP, because otherwise I could more likely see a Hex Drinker being built than a Ghostblade, and he did build the Iceborne Gauntlet, so let's take a look and see if I'm even close. Okay, so we do have a lockdown, 2 lockdowns. We have the hook as well, so we have a hook from Pyke, we have the Malzahar ultimate, and we have I think the Urgot ulti. I'm not sure if you can actually QSS that. And then you also have the Jhin root, so all of those things are QSSable. Then we also have the Ghostblade, which maybe helps with the armor pen going into the Urgot. Also, he can run away from the Pyke, the Nidalee, and the Urgot because they're all going to be chasing him down. And if for some reason he does get caught out by the Malzahar, he can QSS that ulti for sure. That's all for this video. Hopefully the example helped you understand what I meant when I said to analyze the builds on probuilds.net before clicking on them. That way you can understand why people build what they do. We'll see you in the next video where we start getting into early game.